Welcome to the first ever Bayou Elite Spotlight Wrestling. To start it off, and we couldn't ask for anyone better than Ethan Christopher. He's got a great journey. He's got a great, bright future ahead of him. We're going to talk to him about some of the things he does to train, to get better, to make himself elite. Stay tuned. You're going to love this one.
Landon Williams here with Bayou Elite Wrestling Club, and I'm going to sit down with one of our most committed wrestlers in the wrestling club, Ethan Christopher. He started with us about 3 years ago, and we're going to map out his journey from the start to where he is now. Without further ado, Ethan Christopher. I'm sitting here with our first Spotlight wrestler, Ethan Christopher. Ethan, you started wrestling at 8 years old, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember that kid back when you first started? When you first started with us, did you used to play any other sports?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what sports did you play?
Football. Stopped when I was 6.
Okay.
Started just playing football.
Do you currently play any other sports besides wrestling?
As of right now, no, sir.
Nope, you just wrestle? Awesome. What made you fully commit to the sport of wrestling?
Well, when I first went to the practice, I'm like, okay, this is looking good. Then after that first practice, I just started wanting to do it. Just wanted to be number one.
Awesome. When you first started with the practice, that first practice you talked about, were you very successful? Like, did you go out there and just beat on everyone, or was it challenging for you?
Challenging.
It was challenging. You weren't the top dog in the room at the time, were you? No. What made you want to keep doing it then if you didn't see success right away?
Just keep on training and working out.
Awesome. How was your first year in wrestling? How some of the tournaments locally went for you?
Well, my practices were going good. Tournaments, I got second the whole year, and state, I got third.
Third, okay. And that was in Louisiana?
Yes, sir.
You didn't travel outside the state your first year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So something that I kind of remember from back when you first started at wrestling with us is putting you into your first wrestling tournament. And I put you in at Bantam 90. Okay, so your first year you competed at Bantam 90. Do you remember your first year at Bantam 90?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. What do you currently compete at? What did you compete at the preseason nationals, and what did you compete at in all the nationals that you have been so far this year?
In the preseason nationals at Iowa, I wrestled at 70 pounds, and this past year so far I've been wrestling at 77.
Okay, awesome. And that just goes back to your training, right? You really wanted to get at your best body weight, so you train a lot at home, right? To try to get at that perfect fighting weight, right? You do a lot of, can you talk about a little bit about what you do at home that you don't, like, I mean, I know you're very committed on coming to the wrestling practice, you never miss, and I want to hear what you kind of do at home on your own to give you that edge in the sport of wrestling.
But every 2 times a week I throw in arms, bench pressing, curls, and all that.
Really? Travel about 40 minutes to get to the Bayou Elite Wrestling Club practice, right?
Yes, sir.
So you want to train during the time that you're not here, right? So what do you do when you at your home little facility?
Yeah, whenever I get a chance after I do all my sets, I have a little dummy that my dad take to the wall so I can work on the stand-ups. I used to have it for taking down, practicing.
You've been going out the state a lot recently, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you talk about some of the places that you've been?
Yep, in Alabama, in Tennessee, I got first place,
Okay,
and Outstanding Wrestler Award,
that's pretty cool.
and Dixie Nationals, second place. Texas, I got a plaque for second place, and this past weekend, I went to Southern Grind, and I placed first. So I was up by 1 point. I had 30 seconds left. I had to play on defense. So the guy shot in, just kept on chucking him down, chucking him down. Time ran out. I won. I was very happy.
Okay, was that your first out of state championship?
Yes, sir.
Talk about how you felt after that first out of state championship. Because you've been successful in the state, you've won gold medals in the state. But talk about that moment after you finally put in all this hard work to finally get on the top of the podium at an out of state tournament.
Felt really good.
Felt really good. Awesome. They didn't see your match is after that 15 seconds you finally held on, you got that gold medal. We look over and you're crying. So our first instinct as a coaching staff was he's hurt. Like he just won in a national tournament and he is crying. So we were like taken back a little bit. Can you explain those emotions a little bit of why you were crying?
Yeah, so I wasn't hurt. I might have had a busted lip, but it wasn't hurt me very much. So
Yeah. So why were you crying in that experience?
the moment I got my hand raised, I was super happy.
Do you think you'd be as successful in the sport if you weren't going out and seeking the best competition, or just staying in the state of Louisiana?
If I was in the state of Louisiana, I would not be at the level that I am right now.
Awesome. What do you think has made you jump levels? Right, because last year you were successful at a state level, but you're starting to see success at a national level. What do you think has made you get to that next level in the sport?
Just like every time before practice, I spend like 10, 15 minutes working on my stance
Why would you do something like that?
to improve my wrestling stance so they can't get to my legs easier.
That's awesome. All right. Let's talk about what are your short-term goals? What do you want to accomplish on this season?
Okay, so this season, I really do want to become a one-time national champion in all the styles, folk style, Greco, freestyle.
Okay. Can you talk about that? Because you know us as a club, we're real big on all the styles, right? Can you talk about, because a lot of people think that, all we need to do is wrestle folk style. Do you feel that the freestyle and Greco training helps with your wrestling, able to get you to those goals?
So
Okay. What's your favorite style in wrestling?
it has to be Greco,
You like Greco? Why?
upper body,
You like upper bodies? What's your favorite Greco throw?
back arch.
The back arch? Okay. That's that. We've seen you do some pretty cool back arch.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the
Choose it
Yeah, why'd you choose the Bayou wrestling?
because I heard about y'all and how y'all did in college, where y'all came from. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be the part that's gonna make me successful.
Okay. You talk about college. Do you want to wrestle in college someday? Got any colleges in mind? I know it's a far in the future, but you got a college that you want to go to?
Definitely Iowa.
Iowa. Nice.
Just like go fishing, maybe sometimes go up in Alabama to deer hunt.
Okay. So, what kind of fish do you like to catch?
Redfish, trout, bass.
Okay, awesome. Are you pretty good at that? You pretty good at fishing? It's
Yes, sir.
pretty easy for you to reel those big fish in?
Yes, sir.
It's awesome.
You think you could take Coach Landon and bass fishing? He's pretty good, he says.
Pretty good too.
You're pretty good at bass fishing. That is one thing that I do when I'm not wrestling is I bass fish. Did you see I
Yeah, it's
took
fun
those
to catch those.
yeah, I took those guys up to Iowa this summer and owned them on the bass fishing.
Yeah, you let them drag the bait for a couple of seconds and yank it.
Yeah,
Good.
that's awesome. So you talked a little bit about hunting. How often do you hunt?
Well, I mean, sometimes there's like a pig or two come into our yard and we feed him. And
Okay.
when he gets all fed up, we start to go after him and
Nice.
get him.
What's the biggest deer that you've ever shot?
180 pounds, I think. 40.
You know they grow some pretty big deer up in Iowa. So maybe if you do get
I
that
want to
goal,
go.
yeah, if you get to that goal of wrestling in college, maybe those guys will let you go and deer hunt and get some big bucks, you know. All right, so we're gonna end it with just kind of talking about, you know, some fun questions, some funny questions to kind of get to know you a little bit more. All right, so if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Either indestructible or super strength.
Okay, I think I would go with super speed. You know, I could win some races. You know, 'cause I'm pretty slow. All right. If you could sit down and eat dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
Just my family and my friends.
All right. What do you want to do when you grow up?
Like after my wrestling career is all over, I'm gonna be a coach.
A wrestling coach? Awesome. Is there anyone in the Bayou Wrestling Club that you kind of look up to? Someone that you want to be, you know, maybe as good at, or you want to like learn how to wrestle like them?
Richie, kid named Nico.
All right, guys, I just want to say thank you for following and supporting the Bayou Elite Wrestling Club, and make sure you follow Ethan's journey throughout the season because he has some big time goals. He wants to be a national champ in folk style, freestyle, and Greco. And us at the Bayou Elite coaching staff look forward to helping him achieve those goals. Be on the lookout for the next Spotlight wrestler as we transition through the season. Thank you, and be elite.
Hey everybody, thanks again for tuning in for this week's Spotlight Wrestler. Ethan is awesome, he's dedicated, and he shows what it is to believe, to earn, his work ethic, and his commitment to the team. Stay tuned, follow his journey, and help us make his dreams come true. Thank you, have a great day, be blessed, and be elite.